Hey, welcome to I'm the Worst podcast. If you aren't aware, this is the podcast that has comedians share what they're the absolute worst at as we explore some of their biggest failures in life and we find ways to laugh at it. Right away, I always say thank you guys for supporting this podcast and giving it a listen or watching it on YouTube. If you take a small moment to like it, review it, subscribe to it, all that stuff helps me out in a huge way. I am the worst host of this podcast, Jeff Buck. You can find me by looking me up at Funny as Buck on Instagram, Twitter, any of that stuff. But today's not about me, though. Joining me today for this talk about what they're the absolute worst at is another comedian named Jeff. It's always awesome performing with him on stage. So it's good to have him here on this podcast as well. Jeff Horste, everybody. Jeff Horste, give it a big round of applause.
Hey.
There he is. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
That applause is for my cats.
I like to clap too. I have a problem where I clap when I'm not supposed to clap.
Yeah,
just anytime that something's a pro clap situation in life, I find myself.
I think it's ingrained in us as comedians. Just we've gone to so many shows. We're just used to like when someone announces a name, you're like, oh, you have to clap.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't apply to me, I'm just like, but I know they want us to clap. Yeah. So I'm just gonna give them what they want.
You got to do it. Jeff, but yeah, Jeff, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. We got some cats running around.
Oh, you got cats
I'm in this
too.
Weird room. Yeah. Well, we have some foster cats, so they're gonna be gone. Cool. They're gonna be gone soon. We just rent cats.
Is that something you guys do? Do you guys do that a lot, or is it?
We've started. This is the second time that we've done it.
Nice.
Because with me and my girlfriend being comics, we're like, I don't know. When we first came out here, we didn't know if we wanted to permanently have a permanent animal. So we're like, let's just watch other people's animals whenever.
What a strange concept. Imagine if we did that with like children. Just, hey, I just want to.
I don't want a permanent kid.
I just want to adopt them for. Can I lease them? I bet there's so many parents that'll be like, yeah, go for it. You can take them for 2 years. I'll take them back.
That'd be great.
That's hilarious. Awesome. Well, before we get into it, let everyone know anything you want to plug, where to find you, anything like that up top, any projects you're working on.
You can follow me at Jeff Horste, JEFFHORSTE, and that is on all social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the things. And I have some dates out of town. If anybody is in St. Paul, Minnesota, I'll be there June 17th and 18th. I'm going to be in Detroit June 30th to July 2nd. And I'm going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan, July 7th, 8th, and 9th. So the weekend right after that. So that's my upcoming out of town shows.
I got family in Michigan and outside Detroit. We know that. I went up there one time and did some shows that you recommended one time to hit up. Who's that guy? Kyle. Oh, excuse me. Kyle. Forgot his name.
Forsyth.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Solid guy. It's great scene in Detroit. In Grand Rapids. So if anyone's up there, go for it. Check Jeff Horste out. You won't be disappointed. He's a good comedian. But we're not here to talk about what we're good at. We're here to talk about what we're bad at. I can go see you do your good stuff, but we want to know what we're bad at. I like to share examples first. I'll share what I've noticed I'm bad at lately. I think my girlfriend has pointed it out to me actually, is that I'm bad at I'm the worst at bathroom maintenance. I'm very good at like maintaining the rest of the apartment. I'm pretty good at cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the, I vacuum, I mop, I dust. When it comes to the bathroom, for some reason, maybe it's just because of the toilet there, I'm just like, this place is dirty all the time anyways, who cares? So I just let it stay dirty. The toilet paper, I don't take it off. I don't replace it on the roll. I just set it, that gets you going. I'm a very hairy guy. So I'll just put hair on the shower wall. I don't know if you are aware of
You'll put it there? What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, this is like a long hair person problem. It's like sometimes when you're washing your hair, it starts coming out. You get a big glob in your hand. You kind of roll it together, and then you just stick it on the wall because you don't want to clog the drain. So I just stick my wet hair on the wall.
Just stick it.
Maybe this isn't normal.
I thought it just like fell on the ground, and then I don't know. I never thought about it.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe this isn't normal, but I'm pretty sure a lot of. I'll have to ask. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do this. For a while, I was thinking about, because sometimes it'll collect there and it'll look like some sort of Picasso art piece, and I've been thinking about starting like an Instagram account of just my different wall hair art. But that might be a little too weird. I don't know. I feel like there's an audience for it.
Sure, there's an audience for everything on the internet now.
I'm pretty bad at that. Yeah, not a short hair. You don't have to worry about that.
No, my girlfriend's hair will be in the sink. Will be not in the sink. in the drain, in the bathtub drain. Like after she showers, I'll just like take it out of the drain.
Yeah.
And then.
I guess I could let it fall, but I don't know. I have a weird feeling that it's gonna get in their drain and clog it. So
sure.
I'm a wall sticker. I don't know. Maybe I'm a weird person. Maybe I'm the only person out there. I really haven't asked that many people. But I assume this is a normal thing.
I'm gonna start asking everybody now.
You please do. I got now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm starting to just think maybe I'm bad at just taking showers too, and just bad at washing my hair. I just don't know how to properly, because I never had long hair until my adult life, so I never had someone to teach me like, hey, this is how you take care of it. I'm just like, I figure this is a lot of hair here. Yeah, just stick it there. I don't know.
Yeah, I never until I didn't know that I could really grow facial hair. I never tried. When I was a kid, I could grow a mustache. Like I had a creepy, weird mustache.
Oh, were you one of those kids?
When I was
the mustache middle schooler, the middle school mustacher?
I was a middle school mustacher. Yep. And
everyone remembers the kid in middle school with a mustache. There was always that one.
And then it wouldn't grow anywhere else but here. And it was like a full Tom Selleck creepy mustache. And people knew me as having a mustache.
They're like, hey, go buy us some beer, man.
Even though I looked better without the mustache, people got used to me with it. So I got made fun of when I got rid of it. And it was like a whole ordeal when I
was it like, did you have like a nicely
college?
Was it like it grown in, or was it patchy? Like, yeah.
It was grown in, but I didn't like groom it or anything.
Yeah.
It was just a thick mustache, and then it didn't. So then it looked so much better in college. It was a drunken story. I was on the cross country team, and in the college they shaved my mustache as like it's like some big ordeal.
That's hilarious.
I looked so much better without it that I just was like, fuck facial hair. And then later on in life, I was like, wait a second,
I can accompany it.
I'm getting older now. It can grow other places.
Yeah.
And
so it looks good. It looks good when it's fleshed out but I can see with just because it's definitively like it's more prominent, your mustache, than the rest of your facial thing. So I could see with just it. Yeah, it's definitely some like porn star look, or just Tom Selleck. I get that.
I'll have to show you some pictures. There's some.
Please do.
All my senior pictures are just me with just a full-on creepy mustache.
I've got a creepy senior mustache picture as well. I did it as a dare because I was able to grow a pretty shitty beard in high school. So my buddy dared me to just do a mustache for our senior photos, and I did. And I don't know. It's on my mom's shelf. It looks horrible, but anyways, it's whatever. But yeah, so fun stuff. The middle school mustacher, though, man, that's a character that lives in everyone's lives, I think. But back to the bathroom stuff. It doesn't matter. I'm the worst at it. I leave globs of toothpaste in the sink. I'm getting better at that, but
globs of toothpaste.
Yeah, like I'll brush my teeth and everything, but like I don't always. I guess our sink is just kind of big, so like the one stream doesn't hit everything, so you got to like kind of like clean the sink pretty well, or like I'm just a messy.
But as soon as you're done, you're like, I did it. I'm done.
Yeah, get out of here. This place sucks. I hate this bathroom.
I'm not gonna clean the bathroom every time I use it. That's insane.
Are you a reuse towel guy? Do you reuse your towels, bath towels?
Yeah, we hang them up.
And you use like how many days? I don't know. I'm like I use it once and I don't use it again. It's like I use it, I hang it up, and then I use a new one and hang it up. So then I just get all these like kind of damp towels.
Oh wow, that's a lot of laundry. You do it regularly.
Yeah, I do a lot of I do.
Even in you being the worst in something, that's a positive though.
I guess so, right? You're better at. I don't know, but is that too much? I mean, a lot of people say they reuse their towels. My girlfriend reuses hers, but to me, I just find that I don't know. I wipe my butt on it when I come out of the shower. I don't want to use that the next the
I'm
next
drying.
day.
I'm not like getting in the crevices.
You
I'm
know,
just like,
oh no, I'm
I'm
trying to.
just drying.
I'm getting in there. You know, it's like buffing it after you wash it. You gotta shine it, baby.
Sometimes I will. I'm so lazy with the drying that I do often put on shirts and I'm like, I'm still wet. I
Okay.
do. I am bad at that, at like noticing that I'm not fully dry. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm dry. Get the fuck
Yeah.
out
And
of
then
here.
you're like, oh, why
I'm,
why is the back of my
no.
shirt soaked?
Yeah, I have that issue. I have that issue a lot. That's my bathroom issue.
That's pretty funny. All right, all right. So yeah, we're both we both have some faults in the bathroom, but
I,
anyways, I'm not here to talk about what I'm the worst at. I know I got kind of carried away on that one. We're here to talk about what you suck at. What are you bad at? What have you failed at? Let me
there's
know what what you feel like you are the worst at.
I couldn't decide between these two things, so maybe I'll just share both if you're
Mm-hmm.
cool with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Cooking. I'm bad at cooking. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. So that's why I didn't think of it at first. But it's like I became vegetarian and then vegan throughout the last few years,
Yeah.
3 or 4 years, and I think that forced me to have to be like, I think I got to learn how to cook now.
Yeah, yeah.
Before I was just like, eat food, doesn't matter. I don't like onions. If it's not an
Interesting.
onion, I'll eat it. That was the end of my. I just wasn't passionate about food in any specific way. I love pizza. Like I feel like I've always been as a kid. I feel like anybody that says their favorite food is not pizza is a fucking liar. I feel like it's just like they're just picking.
Yeah,
That's
why?
just a boring answer. Like it
Because
was your favorite food as
pizza,
a
you could put anything on pizza and it's now different, right? It's like you could have
yeah,
a chicken and waffle pizza. And so it's like
yeah,
it's pizza, but it's also chicken and waffle, So it's like you
yeah.
could take your
A buffalo
second
chicken
favorite,
pizza is
take your
exactly
second
it's all
favorite
different.
cuisine and put it on your favorite cuisine, which is pizza, and now you've got a better pizza. So
Yeah, exactly. You get
yeah,
it.
I
You
feel
get
you.
it.
Yeah, of course. I'm with you. Anyhow,
But
but
yeah, I was
but you
all
couldn't cook a pizza to save your life. You can't.
no, yeah. Well, not now I can, but
Okay.
I don't know how to like make it the dough fresh or
Yeah, yeah,
anything.
yeah.
But like because I taught myself and I had no background of it, I find myself like not knowing how to do very basic things,
Yeah.
but being very particular. Like when I make a pizza, I'll like mix the pizza sauce with like different hot sauces and different things, and like I'll go all out when I
Yeah,
make
yeah.
a pizza, but I don't know how to make anything else. Like
Interesting.
that's because
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just teaching myself how to make whatever I want to eat.
I feel you
And
on
then
that.
it's so funny because then when I started to get more into cooking, it's so funny because at first I was like, I'm a picky eater. You think of yourself as a picky eater, and then when you start to cook, you're like, wait a second. I know this might sound stupid to other people, but it's like, when you make food for yourself, you can make it is exactly how you want it. Like you're allowed to, like you're an asshole if you go to a restaurant and you're like, can you sprinkle some hot sauce in
Right,
the
right.
sauce when you make
Yeah.
my
Can
pizza?
you
They're like,
crush up
fuck.
some Doritos and put it in my sandwich?
Yeah, they're like,
Kind of
fuck
how I
you.
like it.
They're like, no, fucking weirdo. If you want to do that yourself. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, holy shit, I can do that myself.
Yeah, yeah.
I can be picky. Nobody thinks I'm an asshole if I'm picky about how I make my food, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
my first thing.
no, I feel I can relate to that for sure. I mean, I feel like in order to be a good I've cooked in as like as a job basically my whole life, been like a line cook
Mm,
and sous chef and all that, all those things. So I've been in the professional world of it, I suppose you could say.
mm.
So I've learned to cook pretty well, but even then, I'm still bad at cooking. I feel like in order to be a good cook, you have to be bad because you have to kind of experiment and like learn from failing and things like that. But there's
Hmm.
definitely just like, is it the preparation of the food or like the tools in the kitchen, or what is it exactly that you feel like you fail at? Is it like is it just not knowing the different types of foods, or is it more of like the actual utilities within the kitchen?
I think it's a little bit of all of it. Like some
Okay.
of it comes to my advantage because I feel like I will be more willing to experiment with things than other people because
Yeah, yeah.
I'm starting from less knowledge. Like my girlfriend will be like, you can't you can't mix that with that.
Yeah, and
I'm
you're like,
why
who's to
not?
say I can't?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. She's like, well, nobody.
it's like your taste buds. Your taste buds say you can't.
Well, she'll just be like, well, that's Thai and that's Italian or whatever, and she'll pick two different types of. And I'm like, but the only reason
you put
like,
Thai on pizza, hey, you can have a Thai.
Hey, exactly.
That's a Thai in Italian. I'm saying that.
Exactly. But my argument would always be like, but the only reason that different cultures have the foods that they have isn't because that's just what they feel like tastes the best together. That's just what grows on their side of the fucking planet.
Okay,
you know
for a second, I thought you were about to say, I don't know. I thought you were about to say they got it because they tried mixing and things like that. So you were about to claim that you're inventing a new type of cuisine.
I just think that we get too attached to, well, this is what this goes with this because this is what this culture makes for this dish. And I'm this culture makes this because this is what grew on their side of the planet. Other sides of the planet, they got other vegetables and other sauces.
Well, that's what's so good about Jack in the Box.
Mix together.
Jack in the Box will just put anything on anything. You know,
you want a taco, cheeseburger,
right? Well, that's like I mean, that's epitome stoner food, essentially, right there, right? But I mean, I hear what you're saying. You know, why not mix it up? All right, fair enough. So you're pretty bad at cooking.
Pretty bad at cooking.
What else?
The thing that I'm the worst at is directions. I'm awful at directions, and I feel like I just have an endless supply of stories.
Does this mean like
yes,
west, south, like map directions, or does this mean like, hey, I need you to go to the store and pick something up, and you just like 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 following directions?
Yeah.
Like step 1, open the book. Step 2, you're like, I don't know, man.
Driving directions,
train
directions,
the navigational directions.
Navigation.
Got it.
Like it wasn't my main reason for moving to LA, but before doing comedy, I'm like, all right, what are the bigger cities? There's, especially coming from the Midwest, you're like, well, Chicago is a step up, but it's close to home. So I feel like if you don't move to Chicago early enough, if you're late enough in your comedy career, you're like, well, I might as well just move to LA or New York at that point. I don't know. There's all these debates on what's better for you at your point in your career. Yeah. And then I was thinking about New York or LA. And, you know, ultimately I have way more friends that I've known doing comedy in LA compared to New York. But a major deciding factor was just how many times I got lost on a train. And everybody lies to you. Everybody in New York says you can just use the app, and they're dirty fucking liars.
I hate that because there's so many times where you get in on the wrong platform and now you're going the wrong way. I feel that.
And then, or they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, everybody knows on Friday.
By the way, everyone listening, if they're in New York, they're being like, these fucking idiots.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
It's so easy. But you can't tell me there's not one time in their life where they fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
If you grow up in a place or if you're there long enough, then everything is just second nature to you. It's like everybody will tell me just to use the app, but then there's all these unknown things that aren't covered in the app that nobody remembers to tell you.
Like you don't have to pay. You could just hop over the thing. Like they don't tell you.
They don't tell you that. Or like every basic thing. Like I would go, it took me years. Like I was there. There's literally probably 7 to 10 different occasions where I was in New York for a week at a time.
Yeah.
And I had at least one day of that week where I was just crying on the phone with my girlfriend of like, I can't be an adult. I can't do this. I don't know how to I can only Uber around this entire giant city. And then I'm like, I would show my phone. Even the people that worked there, they knew too much to even dumb their brain down to where I was at.
You got to go over to platform 58 and take the southwest stairs to the right of the left. You're like, what?
The fuck does that mean? And then I'd be like, I would show somebody behind the little security glass. I'd be like, hey, this is where I'm trying to go. Can you tell me how to get there? And they'd be like, well, where are you trying to go? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm meeting up with a person and I got an address. Can I show you this address? Can I hand you my phone? And then she'll just be like, if you don't know where you're going, I can't tell you how to get there. I'm like, fuck you, man. You work here. Why can't we just talk and have a conversation about this? Why is this so combative right now?
Why do you feel like you're bad at navigational directions? Was it just not covered in your class, or what is it? Did you never go? Were you ever taking did you ever take like trips with your family? And you're like, I don't have a family, Jeff. No, I don't know. I
They
don't know.
they 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 drove. I was the kid. I just
Yeah.
woke up and was at a place.
Right. You were like, I
I
was
didn't
just
even know
looking
the
out the
directions
window.
of
I
the
wasn't.
city that I grew up in. I was like, I know the
Yeah.
street I live on, the crossroads, 5 feet away. I'm like, why do I
That's
need to
enough.
know?
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
old enough to know how to drive. I never was curious about things that I felt like didn't apply to me. So it's
Interesting.
like when there's like children that are
You were
like
like,
have
I
caught
planned on being chauffeured my entire
my entire life. Like I
life.
just like when there's kids that have car posters, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, you're not old enough to know how to drive. You don't even know
Yeah,
how much a car costs.
yeah,
Why
yeah.
the fuck are you interested in anything but superheroes right now? I
Your
don't
parents tried to get
understand.
you
You're a
Hot Wheels,
child.
and you're like, what is this
What the
shit?
fuck am I gonna do with this? This is useless to me.
Yeah, you just hated cars.
It's so dumb. And there was one time that I was in New York. Oh, well, yeah. Okay. So when you go on the platform, there will be like a sign that like says all of the things that like you go down the stairs. I don't even know the lingo for
Yeah, yeah.
trains or subways, all that shit. So, and that I just thought I'm looking for, I thought that all of those trains would show up down the stairs.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that you'd have to keep walking down the platform forever further down. Like I wasn't even, I didn't, there's
Yeah,
times
yeah.
that I just waited here, the train never showed up, and people were like, no, you got to keep walking
Yeah,
down
yeah.
there. And I'm like, well, there's no sign that even says that. They're like, you're just supposed to know. There's so much you're just supposed to know about New York travel that nobody tells you. There's times where the app would say to take this thing, and then I would take that thing. And then other people are like, oh, well, everybody knows on Fridays the green isn't going past the
Yeah, yeah.
172 on unless it's Labor Day. What the fuck are you talking? Why would I know that?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
half
yeah.
of you are yelling at me for saying that I should just follow the app. And then the other half of you are saying, oh, well, no, you shouldn't. Why
Yeah,
would you know
yeah.
that? And so yeah, that was a big issue for me. One time, because I remember one time me and my girlfriend got into a fight because I made us late for something. Because so many people were like, just use the phone. And I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, okay, I'm just gonna use the phone. I'm not gonna be stubborn anymore. But then a friend of ours that we were staying with was like, no, you should go this way. And then it ended up with us like 4 a.m. crying at a bus in Brooklyn because there's no like there's some areas in New York where they're just like, oh yeah, there's mostly poor people there, so we're
Yeah.
not going to care about transportation. You're just going to die.
So a lot of
It's like
this is
they don't.
like,
There's
yeah,
no trains in some places. They're like,
yeah.
oh, like if you're far
We
enough
don't go
into an
there.
area, then it's like, no, you just Ubers aren't coming. It's just like I don't know. Hopefully you have a friend
Yeah.
to pick you up.
It reminds me of it reminds me of that episode of SpongeBob where he keeps trying to take that bus to get out of there, and he keeps missing it. Anyways, a little different, but if anyone knows the reference, it's one of
Yeah.
the best episodes.
Yeah, that was a joke for there was somebody who heard that and it was like that was their specific joke.
Yeah, yeah.
They were like, yeah, that was for me.
But
So
anyhow, so
I
it seems like it's more the direction. It's more about like just figuring out the train system than it is
yeah,
directions. So like, are you able, like, now in LA, you drive right now, you have a car, I assume, maybe?
I do, but I still don't really know the
So it's
streets
still
out
hard. So
here.
it's just
I
hard to
did
like figure out where you're
I
going
did
still.
Postmates. I think I'm just not even curious because
Yeah.
I'm 34. I had the technology to tell me this since it seemed like,
Yeah. I mean, you had
why am I
MapQuest at
trying
least.
to learn information that I'm only going to use maybe every once in a while?
I
But then
hear
when
you.
I need it and I don't know it, I complain and I cry. So it's like I wish
Yeah.
that I was more curious about directions at a younger age.
The best thing
But
for me in LA, I feel like I relate a little bit because like there's times where I'm like, at least with LA, it's like, okay, if I look, I know the beach is that way. So I know that
mm,
that is going to be
yeah,
west. So I know like that's
yeah,
west. And then I can figure out northwest, east, and south. So I'm like, at least I can head in the general direction of a place. Right.
yeah.
But yeah, if I don't have the GPS, then it's like, I'm probably
Mm-hmm.
not getting there the right way. I'll
And
challenge
that
myself
happened.
too. Like I'll pick my girlfriend up from work and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I know where she works. So like
I
I'm
don't
not
need to
using the
use my phone.
GPS. And then I like end up calling her like, hey, I'm lost. Can you text me the address again? I have no idea where the fuck I am. Took one wrong turn and now I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it is. Because I would deliver for Postmates, And what's weird about here in LA,
the person who's the worst at directions is delivering hot food. Like,
yeah,
and also worse at cooking too. You're like, it's okay. I'm
like,
worse at cooking the food and
I can't make this. Somebody else
is the job
made this,
for me.
and this phone is going to tell me how to get there.
Yeah.
So, but the rich people live in the hills, and their cell phone service sucks. I feel like rich people have a secret cell phone service that they don't tell anybody out, because
it's like that's how they keep the poor people out. Is like, we have 6G, you guys have 5 and below. Like, you're not getting on our level.
I can't believe that all of the rich celebrities in Hollywood just don't get to use their phone. Like, every time that you go up in the hills, your phone does not work. Your text messages will take hours to send. They're trying to tell me how to get there. My map's not updating on my fucking phone. I'm like, what is this? How can you be like, we have so much money, but no, I don't have internet. Like, the internet just doesn't work out there. But
yeah, it's crazy.
I'm really bad at that. I think one of the I don't know if this is sad or funny stories. I think it's, at one point I was in New York, and I felt so awful about the fact that I was terrible at directions. And I went in the wrong, there's a place, I don't remember the name of it, but it was my favorite pizza that I ever found. And there's a New York comic who like used to give pizza tours. And he's like, what do you like? This is based on what you like, this is what I think you would like the best. I went there, I loved it. And then I went the wrong way on the subway. I went the complete wrong direction. And then I'm like, this was the only thing I wanted to do today.
Yeah.
I just had one. So if I don't make it there, I'm a failure at life. So I'm like, I spent like
24 hours to go to this.
I was like, I just took an Uber, and it cost me, because I went in the wrong direction. It cost me like $80 to get a slice of pizza. And the Uber driver was kind of judging me. Like,
he's like, why are you driving this far? There's so many pizza places on the way. What's so great about fucking Joe Schmo's pizza on the corner of 5th and whatever?
I can recommend another place.
Yeah, like, we're passing one of the best spots.
I'm like, no, this is so I have to feel like
he's got pizza in the passenger seat. Like, yo, just grab a slice of mine.
You sure you don't want my pizza?
You're like, it's all good, bro.
I can't feel like I didn't accomplish this. I can't let them win by me. To me, that's how I viewed it. If I don't
know. It seemed like it was still a loss. You know, deep down, it was still a loss.
I feel like I won.
You should have. No, you should have just went home and be like, today was a watch. We'll try again tomorrow.
I had to do it. And I get mad. I get mad at people when they give me directions. I hate it. It's so dumb. Just text me your address. I don't know what year
I will say some people.
Is,
yeah, that's
where
true.
I'm just gonna take a left.
True.
Fuck you. You're insulting me right now.
There's also some people that are like horrible at giving directions too.
Yeah,
and they think
and
they're
they don't
being
know
good, and they're just like, oh yeah, you take a right once you see the you see
a dumpster
stake in the ground. You're like, what are you talking about? I remember when I was in high school, I was on the baseball team in high school. Oh, I was one of the worst baseball players, by the way. But
what position did you play?
I played outfield. I think they stuck me in right field. You know, one of the shittiest because like I use slow, but I'm in right. Anyways, no one hits it out there. No one's no one's. Anyways, whatever. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so there was a school. It was in Glen Oaks, Louisiana, and to get to the high school, they were being like, "Oh, you keep going down here. As soon as you see the gorilla in the yard, you take a right." Yeah, that's what people would say. Once you see the gorilla, you take a right. You know you made it. I'm like, what
gorilla
are they talking about? And so finally we go, and this one house had this huge statue of a gorilla, and they would put like sunglasses on it and dress it up and things. And we're like, oh, that's it. You take a right, but it's like people had it like, and then they would tell you like, oh, you don't know, like, oh, once you see the gorilla, you take a right. You're like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know. You'll know. You're like, come on, man. Just
don't give me directions based on that's required to follow your directions is other people's decorations.
Yeah. What if they take down the gorilla?
That's what I was.
Then I'm fucked. Now I'm no longer.
And then everybody gets mad at him. Like, do you know how many people I printed out directions to get to how to get to my son's
You got to put their gorilla. Someone
party.
else buys them a new gorilla. Like, put it back. What are you doing?
I already invited all these people based on them following the gorilla. You're gonna everybody. Nobody. Will
This was like pre updated GPS. This is like you had MapQuest. You could print directions.
Yeah,
but it's like, and so like the gorilla did kind of help because I don't think there was a sign for the name of the street. So it's like you're supposed to turn on Timbuktu or whatever, but there was no street sign. So they're like, oh, you see the gorilla, take a right. So I guess it helped.
That's insane.
But also, it's like
just places without signs.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the
and
that's
picturing those places in a time before MapQuest is just sounds.
It's like they don't want you to find. It's Anyways, but
no, I hate it when somebody just texts me your phone, your address. I will figure out how to get there. I don't want you to give me directions because that's a waste of time. I know I'm not going to do it, so I'm not trying to be rude. If you tell me the directions, I'm trying to be polite to save you time for the rest of your day. Like I'm not gonna do that.
Even GPS directions though. I find this for me sometimes. Like if you're on an interstate and there's like multiple exits or something, sometimes they don't tell you the exit number, they tell you the exit name or something. So you're trying to read the signs on the street. And like, just fucking tell me the number or the whatever, or vice versa. And it doesn't correlate. That I've missed so many exits on that sometimes because they're like or you take 5B north 101 and or whatever the fuck, and you're just like, now I'm taking south on accident because I didn't get in the right. It's
Oh man, holy shit! I just not thought of this. One time, this is probably the story I should have opened up with. Okay, let's pretend that I'm doing this backwards here. The most interesting Jeff is lost story is when I downloaded Waze, and I think that by default it said it just said fastest route, and it did not uncheck
avoid major highways. Oh,
ferries. So I had a show in Wisconsin. I'm in Michigan. I went up for hours. I thought that I was going to get to this hotel. It was supposed to be like a log cabin hotel that had that has like a nice pool. I thought that I was going to I was trying to be responsible and I want to get to this hotel at 2:00. My show's at 8. I'm tired of being tired right before I have to perform. If I'm driving hours
get
to
in,
a show,
check in, take a little hot tub soak.
That was the plan. And then I didn't notice until I'm literally in front of the ferry and it's not even open for
the
hours.
Ferry's
so for them to say that it's the fastest route, they're missing so many aspects. It's the fastest route time-wise. If immediately when you get there,
the ferry's
you're allowed to drive your car onto the ferry, and then immediately. But then it's only counting the driving direction. So it's you're not adding the time at it didn't make sense at all. So luckily I went early enough but I added 3 hours. I added 6 hours to the
backtrack.
Yeah, I went 3 hours in the wrong direction. Then I had to go 3 hours back because for Michigan, it's I went up Michigan, then I had to go down Michigan and go around the right way. And I remember having to strategically be okay, I still have to eat and have energy and use the bathroom, but I have to make sure I do those things only at one visit. So I'm eating at gas stations. That's where I'm going to buy an energy drink. When I'm going to get gas when I'm there. I'm going to pee when I'm there. Those are the only time. I'm not peeing unless I'm getting gas and eating. I have to do all these things. And I remember I was using my dad's car and he had trash. At one time I was like, shit, I have to pee. Because I called the person and I was like, there's a chance that, it says that I'll get there right when the show starts. I know I'm supposed to be there half an hour early.
He's like, you're going up first, bro. I'm not changing the lineup.
He's like, there's a host and then you're featuring. As long as you get here before he says your name, I don't care how early you are, but we're not going to postpone the show.
Meanwhile, the host is like, I hope he doesn't show up. I can run for 20 minutes.
Yeah. So then I ended up, I tried all, you're looking at all the different bottles and you're like, I don't think that's not a wide enough. That's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to pee in a Sprite can.
You got to have a Powerade bottle. What are we doing?
You got to have a Powerade bottle. A dad had a coffee cup and I remember trying to pee in the coffee
cup.
And because it sounds like
you can't put the lid on, and then
that's the issue. The issue is you think it's wide enough. So first I was thinking of the width wasn't an issue, was an issue on the other ones, but then I'm like the cup wasn't big enough. So I was hoping to just plop it in, but then your dick, the pee is going high. I'm like, this is the most disgusting. It's like a pee dipstick. And then so then I had to transport that to, I found like a trash bag.
You're cruising 60.
I'm driving while all this is happening. And then there's a trash bag. There's a poop bag. There's no poop, but for like picking up dog poop. And I'm like, okay, so I open that up, and then I like try to transfer that into the rest there. Eventually I managed to pee, and I tied it up, and I tried to like throw this out of the window. And I did the thing where I didn't pay attention. It was so windy. It was so windy that like I went over a lane, and then there's somebody honking at me. I just was the asshole that immediately merged into their lane. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I almost killed myself and another driver trying to throw pee out of a window. And then I get there like 5 minutes before the show starts, but it's like I drove for 12 hours.
You smell like pee.
I smell like pee. I've only ate
asparagus
Doritos.
Pee too, right?
It's like Doritos and 5-hour energy is what I lived on for 12 hours to get here. And your heart feels weird. You're just
you're fucking sweating. You got like acne developing actively.
It was awful. And I'm like, gotta uncheck the ferry now. Gotta make sure. Why in the world would that be the default setting?
That's crazy.
Why would anybody assume that you would want to take the ferry on a it shouldn't be that easy to make the mistake that I did.
That's hilarious. Jeff Horste, the worst at directions. I love it. Well, real quick before we get out of here, a quick game I like to end the show on is something I call Who's the Worst. And since we're both named Jeff, I think this will be easy. Let's just do Who's the Worst Jeff, not out of us. I just mean like out of all the Jeffs in
as a person.
Just come on, man. You think you're better than me? No, I just mean in general, out of all the Jeffs in the world, who's the worst Jeff you can think of? Because there's a lot of bad Jeffs. A lot of great Jeffs, but I think we've got a bad rep.
Dunham?
Jeff Dunham? No way. Come on, Jeff Bezos.
I don't know. Jeffrey Dahmer?
Jeff Dahmer. That's pretty up there. That's up there, Jeff Dahmer.
I think Dahmer is worse than Bezos.
I don't know, but Bezos has a long-term effect.
I know. That's the issue. That's the balance.
Dahmer just did it quick and short. You know, I mean, if you think about it, Bezos is going to kill more people over a period of time than Dahmer did.
You're right.
So I don't know, you know.
You're right.
Who knows?
Wow. At first I couldn't think of the other Jeffs. I was just like, I don't know, he does some racist puppets sometimes. And then I was like, oh yeah, no, there's Jeffs that straight up kill people. Jesus.
There's some pretty shitty Jeffs out there. Anyhow. All right, we'll go with Dahmer. We'll go with Dahmer and Bezos. They're tied.
Yeah.
They're up there. Sweet. Well, thank you for sharing today, Jeff. Your directional. I'm glad that you were able to figure out the directions on how to get onto Zoom and do this podcast.
You gave me a link, you click it. I'm here.
Easy. It's like an internet GPS, the hyperlink. Last, anything, no little plugs or anything, just again remind people, go see you when you're in Michigan. I think this should come out before those dates happen.
Sure.
So Detroit and Grand Rapids, you said, right?
Yep.
Sweet. Awesome. Any last little things, any tidbits you want to add?
You know what? Not that I could think of. You know, don't be hard on yourselves. If you guys are bad at something, there's somebody worse than you at it, probably somewhere.
If you're in middle school, shave the mustache.
Shave the mustache. It doesn't matter if you're cool at the moment because you're the first kid to have facial hair. That won't last. It will not last. It'll prolong.
Let someone else have it.
It'll prolong when your confidence in life starts. It'll slow down your entire growth as a human being. Shave the stash.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't know. There's something to say. NASCAR drivers with thick mustaches, and the only direction they can turn is left. So there's something to say there. I don't know.
Stop it. I think I didn't get made fun of enough for the mustache because I was one of the token white kids. So then, like, because I'm from Detroit, so I think they were just like white people always fucking.
And you look like a cop then with the mustache. Yeah, it's just like fuck you.
Yeah, I don't know. That's some weird white people shit. I think that's what it was summed up as. Is just some weird white people shit.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jeff, thank you again for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. And we appreciate y'all for listening. We hope you tune in again. This is the podcast called I'm the Worst, but our fans are the best. See you next week. That's it.